I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the NGINX controller trial experience just to give you an idea of the low friction nature of it. A customer, when they initiate a trial on their own, they're going to start here at myf5 or myf5.com. They'll need to create an account if they don't already have one. And now they need to wait to receive a verification email. Click that activation request and activate my account. And now after I've accepted the activation, I go ahead and put in my account information. Going to agree to the terms, complete my registration. So at this time, I finished my account creation on my F5, and now I want to go ahead and I want to try NGINX controller. So right here on the landing page, I can go ahead and try NGINX controller. So we'll wait for the fulfillment to complete. So I've received the email that my trial's been accepted. I'm returning back to the portal and refresh the page, and now I can see that my trial for NGINX controller is available. So I want to go ahead and I want to launch my trial. Here I want to check my association token, and I actually want to copy this. I'm going to save this out over here because I'm going to need that later on. And then I want to go ahead and I want to download NGINX controller. So I want to select NGINX controller, select the latest version of the product, and go ahead and download. And while we're waiting for the download to happen, I just want to go back through what we've just done right here. So we've created an account at myF5. We've gone through the process to get the email to verify that account. Then we've logged back into myF5 and created the account. Then on the landing page, we went ahead and we requested the controller trial, waited for the activation to happen. We received an email for that, returned back to the page and refreshed it. And now I'm going through and I retrieved my activation token, and now I'm downloading the software. Now that my file has completed download, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that file over to the machine that I created. I created a nicely sized 8 CPU and 16 gigs of memory machine up in AWS so that I can demo controller for myself internally and take a look at it. So I've downloaded controller, I've found the documentation, and I've copied the controller tarball over to the machine that I'm going to install controller on. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log in on that particular machine. I'm going to see my tarball that's sitting there, and I'm going to expand that. Now that that tar is expanded, I'm going to go ahead and change into its folder. And in here, you're going to see a few artifacts. The one we really want to focus on is install. So I'm going to run install.sh. And that's going to walk me through everything that I need to do from the controller system. Okay, the installer caught that I needed JQ installed. So let's go ahead and install that. And now we're going to go ahead and rerun the installer. Going to add Docker CE for me. Okay, and then it's going to start to prompt me about the databases. So do I want to use an embedded configuration database? Yes, I do. I'm going to go ahead and do it local because this is just a trial or a POC. Same thing for the analytics database. I'm also going to want that on the local storage. Now it's going to check for the presence of Kubernetes. And we've run into a couple more dependencies. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install those. And just to show you how easy this is, I'm going to run the installer again to let it redo its checks. All right, now I need to agree to the end user license agreement. Now I need to go through and finish the configuration. So an SMTP host. So the FQDN for controller. This is how I want other machines to be able to contact controller, such as my machines where I'm going to be installing NGINX and the controller agent. So I'm going to go ahead and just use the IP for that. And then I need to establish my first user. I'm going to go ahead and generate a self-signed certificate. All right, so now I am finished installing controller. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. And remember, I used a self-signed certificate, so I just need to accept that prompt and that first user account that I had done. Now, remember that association token that I saved from the interface a while back? If I come back over to my trials dashboard, you can see the association token. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paste that in here. All right, so the only thing I have to do at this point in time, if I'm following the documentation, is I need to install NGINX Plus if I don't already have it. So back over here at the products page, so one way I can obtain it is here. I can actually download the packages and distribute it by the packages. The other way that I can install NGINX controller is using the repository keys. And now you might be wondering where I access the repository keys yet. This is a traditional way to install NGINX Plus. Okay, so I'm going to go back over to my command. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log in and retrieve a cookie. So if we do an ls, you can see that I have my cookie here. This is my authentication token with controller, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to download the certificates. So we can see that we have the certificate file there. And now I can use those certificates to actually go through and install NGINX Plus from the public repository. So we've got two ways that the customers can access the package, and this is explained in the trial documentation. So it's a pretty easy process to actually go through and get a trial of controller up and going and functional. And just to reiterate, after we download the package, we just need to move that over to a machine where we're going to perform the install. Expand the tarball, find the install.sh script, and actually run it. Respond to the prompts. Then log into the interface, and then add the license. And then we need to obtain NGINX Plus. So if we have instances, then we can move on to installing Agent. If we don't have instances, we can retrieve repository keys from controller itself, or we can download binaries from MyF5. And there we have it, all the steps necessary to set up and demo controller.